welcome. In our last episode, we talked about some of the monstrous scams that have been perpetrated in the cryptosphere over the years and how you can spot some of the warning signs that might just stop you ending up on the TV talking about how you lost your life savings. And it's all very well knowing how not to do anything. But what happens when you find something that's properly legit, or you think you have? How and what do you research and how do you buy in? Well, my lovelies, stick around and we'll give you some incredibly tasty little morsels of advice. Gobble them down and you can use your newfound wealth of knowledge to generate some serious wealth of pocket and a bit of financial freedom into the bargain. Sound exciting? Let's play School of Block. Hello. The world of crypto offers great rewards beyond just any potential capital appreciation. Fundamentally, blockchain, digital currency, dApps, NFTs, and DeFi are all part of an integrated system offering you financial autonomy, free from the constraints, bureaucracy, and judgment of the legacy banking offering. But great freedom also requires great responsibility. There is no number to call if you lose your private keys, get phished by scammers, or simply jump on the hype wagon of the latest meme coin only to find its value plummeting into the sea. Ape, bone, good strong tail. Yeah, could be a contender. Oh, hello. Yeah, choosing legitimate projects is a collective mission born by all of us out there to make this space thrive, to make this space healthier. And the more that the market reflects those projects with fundamental value, not moon, pam, boon, the better chance those projects will have to survive and make a difference. And of course, if you're on board with them early, then the chances are you could do rather well too. It's all about the mindset you choose. Do you want to be in the casino, throwing chips at the roulette wheel? If so, there's plenty of opportunity to do that in crypto. If that's your game, don't try to kid yourself that it's not. You are gambling. But what if you're in for the long haul, seeing an incredible opportunity to create generational wealth? Well, that will take a very different mindset. It'll need patience and discipline. Finding the right projects comes first. And before you identify the real crackers, you need to identify the scams. Check out this beauty here. Wrecked. That's not bad. First up, how did you first hear about any given project? Was it being shilled on Twitter, TikTok, or YouTube? Now bear in mind that many accounts are actually paid to shill projects, and unscrupulous ones may even pay seemingly legit celebrities to big up their token. And it's not unheard of for, quite well-known accounts to retweet scams. Oh, whoops, by accident, didn't mean to, didn't know, my bad, oh yeah, and that's kind of just because they didn't do enough research. So, just because someone says it's good, and actually, this pair is quite good, it doesn't mean that it is good.
It's the best. I love it.
So, there just needs to be another way to investigate a project. And that means you need to go to the beginning, to the white paper. What is a white paper? Well, it's a document released by a crypto project that gives investors technical information regarding its roadmap, its concepts, and plans for how it intends to grow and succeed. Now, they can look a bit daunting at first, so here's some tips on what to look out for. Okay, so a white paper. What is a white paper? Well, it's basically a technical paper that outlines what a protocol is going to do, and it can contain a lot of technical language. Here I have the Ethereum white paper, which was originally published in 2013 by Vitalik. Now, there's absolutely zero chance that a white paper is going to make a ton of sense to you, because most of the time, our understanding of the fundamentals of these projects is just not there yet. And a lot of the time, what we are looking for doesn't exist. It's an idea, it's a possibility. So a white paper should be a guide. It should be like reading a pamphlet about a project. The only thing you can do with white papers is absorb them, try and understand the concepts behind it, and then the next thing you have to do is start talking to people. I think the worst thing that can happen is to start forming a thesis around a project in isolation. it's very, very difficult to find the right kind of people to discuss these ideas and projects with. But hopefully what we can do on these channels is give you a forum to actually discuss and consider what's going on here. What tends to happen in Telegram groups is there's this elevated idea of success, an elevated idea of the people behind a white paper. So we put them on a pedestal and say, these are geniuses. They might well be, but they're also speculating on an idea, on the possibility of an idea. So the best thing you can do is gather up as many opinions as you can, both positive and negative, around what's proposed in the white paper to help you start to piece together what that white paper might be. Now, once you've identified a project that at concept level has got some chops, what's next? Well, this might seem like a dumb question, but you have to ask yourself, is it actually alive? Ugh. Any decent projects in active development will have a busy GitHub. Have a look at cryptomiso.com to see where your project ranks. Lots of commits in recent months, then those developers are actually doing something, and that is good. How about the network itself? Is it actually active, or is it a ghost chain? Well, let's take a look. So there is a term you might come across when thinking about blockchains, this term ghost chain. Now it's amazing having a 7-lane highway, but if there's no traffic on it, then what does it mean? That's what we mean by ghost chains. So how do you find out if a chain's actually being used? Well, there's a website you can go to, blocktivity.info, and here you will find a bunch of analytics and statistics. Good thing about blockchains, everything's transparent, everything's auditable, so you can see exactly how much traffic is going through. And if a chain says, oh yeah, we're the most heavily used chain in blockchain, well, you can go, okay, I'll look on Blocktivity and take a look. Now, there is something you have to bear in mind here. If we look at Wax, for instance, they're the #1 chain. But if you look on CoinMarketCap, for instance, you will see Wax is nowhere near the top 50 list. It's just not there. Well, what does that mean exactly? Well, there's a few different things going on here. A transaction is just something that happened. It's a record of events. There was a block mined, and that's it. The value that was transported in that block can be millions, or it can be a single cent. Makes no difference. So with Wax, for instance, they do a lot of volume, but maybe not so much value passing through the chain. TRX, for instance, Tron, they do an enormous number of transactions, but there is a suspicion that they are spamming their own network with pretty much next to free transactions in order to make it look as if the network is being used. Now, this is also an accusation that's been leveled at EOS. Now, I'm not going to comment on whether this is true or not, but it's certainly possible to spam a network with transactions to create the illusion that there's a lot of activity going through. But how would you ever know this? Well, that's just something you have to figure out over time. And a lot of people who are supporters of these projects will tell you that those are real transactions. That's up to you to decide. So if we go and look at the Ethereum Block Explorer, you can literally watch it in real time as blocks are mined, transactions go through, and you get a lot of data around what's going on here. You also get a lot of data around the hash rate, which is how much mining power is being applied to the network, the difficulty, which is how difficult it is to mine a block. All of that's going to change when Ethereum moves to proof of stake, but for now, it's a pretty good guide to how much mining power, in other words, how much confidence there is in the network from miners, and how much competition there is from miners to mine a block, because they're pretty valuable. ETH is around $2,200 today, so mining one block and getting an ETH, pretty damn good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a little coin called Clams. Clams is, it's, I believe, a fork of Bitcoin. I could be wrong here. I didn't do enough research on this, but it doesn't really matter in here because it's a coin. It has its network. It has a block explorer. And yet, by all kind of measurable points, it seems to be dead. Completely and utterly dead. So if we look at CoinGecko and we go to Clams, the ticker is CLAM, unsurprisingly. We can look at some details about this. So for instance, their website, clamcoin.org. We open that in the new tab. What do we get? Well, we don't get the Clamcoin website. So freebitcoins.com has bought this website and now is supplying you with an exchange
whatever it is that they're doing, no idea, no interest in that. Well, that's weird. If we look at their explorers, cashier, what happens? 403 forbidden. This coin appears to be dead. And yet, what can we see here on the clams chart? Blah, 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 hovering around. I mean, it's a low volume shitcoin, basically, and it's bumping around all over the place. And then suddenly there's a spike here, and it goes all the way up to $12 on the 14th of June. What's going on here? That is a pump and dump. Plain and simple.
Now it's time to get a little bit more hands on. The vast majority of decent projects will have a Telegram or Discord group, and you should be able to find at least some of the team on there. Go and ask them questions. Now, it may seem like they're unapproachable and you shouldn't be able to, but that is the entire point of community. You can talk to anyone, and you should. Now, if the project is good, they will be only happy to answer. With 10,000 tokens and counting out there, new projects need all the PR they can get, and they also know that those relationships could turn into something spectacular in the long run. So, they're invested as much as you are. So let's say you've done all your due diligence and the research checks out. It's time to jump in. But how do you do it? Well, first killer tip is not to get hung up on whatever the price is right now. Equally, don't try and time the market. The odds of getting that right are practically zero. Instead, we're going to do what the pros call dollar cost averaging. Well, what's that? Well, basically, it's an investment strategy in which you divide up the total amount to be invested across periodic purchases, which you make regardless of whatever the price might be at the designated time. Let's break that down. So let's say the price is $2 today, but then tomorrow the price goes down to $1. Well, you didn't buy everything you needed at this price because you knew that perhaps the price would move. So now what you're going to do is buy a bunch more at the lower price, which means the average price of those two is somewhere around here. Now, the price might go down even lower, which means, whoa, you're going to buy up, and then you start to bring the average cost of the entire stack that you bought down. That is dollar cost averaging, and it avoids making the mistake of one poorly timed lump sum FOMO investment all in one go. Capiche?
Capiche?
So once you've identified and dodged the scams, that's how you buy into the best projects in crypto, and in the process give yourself the best possible chance of future financial freedom. Where are they coming from? Well, and as for what you should do with your asset once you bought it, well, leave it on the exchange, transfer it to a soft or hard wallet, or indeed a combination of both. I will be diving into that hot topic next time. Till then though, remember my catchphrase, FOMO's a no-go. You've been watching School of Block presented by Ledger and the Defined. Demystifying decentralization one block at a time. Don't forget to subscribe, drop us a like if that's what you're into. And as always, here's to your financial freedom, freedom from scams, freedom from that. Uh-oh.